himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nuhoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
Say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult. The understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Sim Race for Simpletons Round 3, live from Virginia International Raceway. I'm James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by my good friend, as always, Mr. Alex Goldschmidt, who's going to be here guiding us through these 28 laps of action. It has been an absolute epic start to the season, and we can bring you up the current point scoring scene. As you can see on your screen, for Twingman, Carson Keane took the victory from Crispin Jasper in second place, Anthony Zich in third, with Brian Long in fourth, Christopher Sears in fifth, Anthony Wilburn sixth, Gabriel Hope in 7th, Indy Cascala in 8th, Marty Rogers 9th, Seth McFarlane 10th, Jeff Groff in 11th, James Cunningham 12th, and Aaron Morgan there as well. The track itself, well, it's Virginia. It's absolutely incredible. 17 corners, track length of 5.626 kilometres. The race length today will be 28 laps for these guys to contend with. It's going to be very, very interesting, but don't just take my word for it. Let's have a chat with Mr. Goldschmidt, and he can tell us here as well all about Virginia. Alex, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, all good, James. Currently over in Germany at the moment in my virtual side of the commentary box, so I'm an hour ahead of you, so it's even later in the deep of the night here. But yeah, Virginia International Raceway, 5.6 kilometres, 17 turns. So you've got reference to horses, NASCAR, boxing, animals, a tree, and also you got the word roller coaster. And that's what really provides us with a great sort of test. I mean, we're running on board with Christian Jasper from Destino Motorsports, of course, those that did catch last week's broadcast. There was a little bit of coming together between the Destino teammates, with Jeff Groff and Christian Jasper coming out of Victory Corner at Motegi, but you can just see the undulation changes round here at Virginia. It is just such a pure mix of speed, heavy braking zones, but there's minimal places for overtaking. But as we ride on board with the 444 at the moment, you're going over a blind crest now, and you're going at big speed. Six gear, probably over 170 miles an hour. Then you're going to go into a fast left-hand kick. Then you've got to go down the gearbox. And we're heading towards the end part of the circuit, especially through 14, 15, and 16, through Hogpen. You know, look at the speed. And of course, they've also got the additional push to pass. And Christian Jasper coming across the line at over 170 miles an hour in 6th gear, flat out, foot to the floor, 180 miles an hour before he hits the brakes, and he's just put in a 131.817. Jeff Groff has just gone in with the 135.347, but the amount of speed differential to, say for instance, a Formula 4 car to a Super Formula, there is a big difference. You've got to have your eyeballs on stalks here, James.
Yeah, I bet you absolutely. This is going to be one for the masses to sit and watch. Good afternoon, well, good evening for us here, Tyler Morella. So much love. How was IndyCar? Did you pick me up a program as he went to watch IndyCar at Long Beach as well? I have heard it's quite an epic race. I haven't had a chance to watch it back yet, but I believe it was quite an epic race that I've been hearing about. Tyler, did you get my program? Do you need my address? You know, let me know what's the situation. I tried to get a program out of him, Alex. I've got a funny feeling I may have royally failed, but look, if you don't ask, you don't get, as my mother says. But let me know how it was for you, Tyler. Hope the weather held up as well and you weren't absolutely freezing with raining down weather trying to watch Formula 1 cars like you would over here in the wonderful world of the Great Britain. So let's see how these guys are going to get on. What do we think here? These guys are carrying a lot of speed, and I think from our point of view, going down into that right-hander, it's not a full-on hairpin back on yourself. It's more of a progressive hairpin that carries on going, and you can just sort of slide it, take it out. But then you come into round NASCAR Bend, round left hook, round up through 5A, 5B, through the snake section. It's all going to get very tight and twisty because that snake section is not the largest area, and I'm just a little bit worried if they all start trying to pile in through there, it could get a little bit messy.
Yeah, I mean, this is an old school circuit, let's not forget, and runoff is at a premium. Plus also you've got to consider that there's going to be a lot of steering corrections, on the fly. You can be over rotating when it comes to the front end of the car. Plus also it's rear wheel drive, so one wrong overcorrection with regards to steering could snap the back axle to being where the front is, as we've seen. This is a really, really fast part of the circuit, going down in towards Oak Tree through South Bend, as Gabriel Hopper was at 170 miles an hour, and I did not hear a single iota of lift from Gabriel on that particular occasion. And now we're going down the back stretch heading into roller coaster. When you get slipstream, we're going to see cars going north of probably 185 miles an hour, as Christian Jasper still was on pole position, isn't now, because teammate Jeff Groff has just pipped him by nearly 3/10.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on Gabriel, hoping what he is going to be able to do across the line. Here he goes, winds up that machine. Now the power, you can see the speed they're going on the right hand side. He's literally north of 176, 77 going over the line. He puts it into 4th place. An incredible job from him there. We've got Tom LZ here as he's going over the line and seeing what he's going to be able to develop on and get what sort of time he can get on the board, hugging that right hand side. He's going to go over the board over in 10th place. We've got our very own Brian Long out on the racetrack as well, doing an absolutely stellar job with these guys in the league. But it is Jeff Groff who leads the way at the moment at what is going to be a very, very interesting evening of racing. And if you've not ever watched the Super Formulas, well, you're in for a shock there as well. Tyler Ruelis did not know program. He couldn't find any. But yeah, 85 laps at Long Beach, man. I missed the sound of V6s those cars have. Yeah, I bet it was a great experience to sit and just listen and watch them there as well. Whereabouts on the racetrack was you? Because Long Beach, I can imagine, Alex, not having the greatest grandstand access.
Well, it's all sort of like makeshift and just all the scaffolding poles in the background. So, yeah, I think IndyCar is a series that gets a lot of love these days, especially with the characters you have in there: Joseph Newcomb, Scott Dixon, multi-time, probably most decorated champions in IndyCar series history. Scotty Mack, Scott McLaughlin, Pato Ward, Rinus VK. The list goes on and on and on. I do try and keep up with IndyCar whenever I can, and yeah, it's just been like with my schedule. I've been over it, still currently over. Say I've been karting all the way through the weekend at Ackersdorf in the area, so I've had literally hardly any sleep. I've been on either caffeine or sugar drinks, so I am currently energy drink at the moment because of it being just gone 2 in the morning. But yeah, I think still have got Runkle, Christian, and also Joshua Benjamin yet to set a lap time. So the top 10 already have done so. Christian Jasper has gone purple in sector 2. Groff at the moment seems to have the handle on the car in comparison with his teammate. So we still can't forget we've got the good old push to pass here as well, James. That's going to add a little bit more additional horsepower to the 550 plus that these drivers will already be using in the standard engine configuration.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what something so simple can do for these cars. And although not everybody likes the push to pass, does everybody like the DRS? It's a really up for debate. Should they just go back to a steering wheel and a H pattern? Abso-blinking-lutely. Go and drive a car like a proper one and not have 72 buttons or whatever stupid amount of buttons you got on your steering wheel there as well. But anyway, that's a rant for another day. Let's get it down into the nitty-gritty. Groff's just come over the line on a 126.194. He takes pole away at the moment from Christian Jasper. Jasper is out on a lap at the moment, but he is not improving to a degree. We will see. You can see they're coming through the snake. That is just going to be... Man, that is going to be messy if you're going to try and do that too wide. I just fear that they're going to need to follow through that section, Alex. I cannot see them making the snake work too wide. I am really worried about that area because it is so fast.
Well, I'm just going to have to line it up behind somebody else and just wait for that opportunity to get a run through 6A, and then you might be able to get a run through South Bend, the fast left-hand kink at turn 10. You're going to be pushing 165 miles an hour, but on the anchors. into the double right at turns 11 and 12 at Oak Tree. So yeah, Jeff Groff and Christian Jasper have been swapping fastest laps in this qualifying session because just 30 seconds to go. Carson Keane, the winner of 2 races of the season back in Montreal and so last week at Motegi, is not in the qualifying session, so been able to make it tonight. So we are going to have a new winner in season 4 Sim Racing for Simpletons.
Yeah, we are. I was just trying to see if there was anything said anywhere about Carson Keane, but I can't quite find anything. Oh, not that one. We're going into the last 10 seconds. Not long for some of these drivers to get their laps on the board here and get them up and running. I don't actually believe that any of these will finish a full-on lap. Anthony Wilburn possibly might get another one in, but we'll see how that. Just before turn 5, so where's that? 1, 2, round the fountain 3, right-hander 4, right-hander, another right-hander, isn't it? Turn 5 at Long Beach, I believe it's the second right-hander, isn't it?
There's quite a few right-handers along the beach,
yeah, turn 5, you go left for 1, round 2, through the fountain for 3, then you go right for 4, right for 5, just about 100 yards up from 2, 100 yards up from 4, so he would have been on the corner there as well, so at least it would have been a nice slow, not obviously too slow, but a nice, slow corner where you can actually see the cars itself rather than sitting in a grandstand and then just going zoom, 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 zoom. And that's it for another minute or so. You know what I mean? I think that's the only thing about watching Formula One and stuff like that what live that bothers me would be the fact that they do just kind of whiz past you if you're not stood by a grandstand big screen. And then you don't see them again for another minute and a bit. You know what I mean? Until they do the same thing again and zoom, 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 zoom. And you're like, oh.
That's why I like circuits like Brands Hatch Indy, where no matter where you are on the circuit, you can see pretty much quite a lot.
Yeah, Thruxton's the same. Thruxton's the same. If you find a spot in Thruxton just after the right-hander 1, before you get into the left-right, before you go out onto the backside of the circuit, you can see quite a lot there as well. And I think that's probably what a lot of the problems for race circuits are, is the accessibility to visual aids to help people is not always there. Like certain parts of Thruxton, if you go to the back left corner of Thruxton, you only see that area and there's no grandstand or anything, but there's no big screen, but yet they stick a burger van, toilet bar and a sausage and a sweet shop up there. You know what I mean? Or a sweet stall for you to be able to get all that
and
on.
a big screen. And a big screen as well.
No, not over the back left. Not at Thruxton.
No, at Silverstone I was talking about. Silverstone. Like when I was at Cops in 2009, we had a big Trinitron screen there.
No, they didn't have any of that at Thruxton, and it's not very big. But let's get into the grid. Jeff Graf is in first, with Crispin Jasper second, Anthony Wilburn in third. Brian Long got himself up into fourth in the end, with Indica Scarlett in fifth, Anthony Zick in sixth, Gabriel Hope in seventh, Christopher Sears in eighth, then Chris Gibu in ninth, Tom LZ in 10th, Joshua Benjamin in 11th, and Travis McChristian in 12th place there. And then on the back end of that will be Don Runkle Jr., who is in 13th place. So let's see what these guys can deliver for us and see what sort of racing we're going to get. There's only one guarantee. It's going to be epic. We're just waiting for the last one to get on to the grid, and then we will be up and running and ready to go here. So we will have 28 laps at VIR with cars topping north of 180 miles an hour just as they get down into the braking zone of turn 1. The lights are going to be coming on now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and we are green, green, green. Somebody did not move. Tom LZ, I believe, did not move off the back there. Completely did not get it right. Free wide almost going down into turn one. Jeff Goff, Crispin Jasper, Anthony Wilburn's in there. Indica Scarlett's put herself in there as well. Brian Long, Anthony Zeeks, Gabriel Hope. They're all in there at the moment as they're going around the left-hand corner. NASCAR bend. Then we're going to be coming up left again into left hook before we're going to start this first run through 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we start heading down to the snake. But everybody at the moment here, Alex, got away cleanly. There was Tom LZ did not get that machine off the line, and I believe Travis McChristian has also had an off-track ride at the beginning. But apart from that, no issues for anybody else.
I think someone's got some stones tonight. That was Anthony Wilborn trying to make it 3 wide between Jeff Groff and Christian Jasper. As there is the battle for P2 as they make their way through turns 11 and 12 at Oak Tree, and now it's the long run to Roller Coaster at turns 14 and 14A, and then they're going to go over this blind crest. Jeff Groff has already got a lead of just over 1.4 seconds, but look at the run for Christian Jasper. He was using the push to pass through into the roller coaster section. He slingshots past Wilborn for second place. Textbook move there, threading the eye of the needle by the 444.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job from him, Crispin Jasper. There is Jeff Groff's opened up 2 seconds on lap 1. That is literally an insurmountable gap that cannot be fathomed. What about Brian Long? Is he going to get Anthony Wilburn as well? He's not, but Anthony Wilburn is going to get round, unfortunately, as he looked like he was going to clear Crispin Jasper, and round he went. There is a car coming. There is a car coming, literally right there, as Don Runkle just settles in behind Anthony Wilburn. Right at the moment, I turned and see a leaf. Let's go, Anthony Wilburn. What a lap improvement it was. And then, unfortunately, he's gone and spun round from second place. Had the inside for Crispin Jasper, couldn't get it stopped going into turn 1.
Yeah, it's sort of like you have the bravery pills or the touch of Dutch courage, and then you think, I can make this, and then you realise halfway through what you're trying to attempt, it all goes horribly wrong. And at least the good thing is, Anthony's still got plenty of laps to try and climb up the order. Could there have been an opportunity for him maybe to go after Jeff Groff for the race victory? It's the shoulda, coulda, woulda situation there, James. So we might never know that fact.
Yeah, I think the thing is, a lot of the time it's the what ifs, you know. What if I did that? What if I didn't do that? What if I did this? What if I didn't do that? And that's what people don't quite see. Racing drivers will generally live on what ifs. What if I did this better? What if I did that better? It's all part of debriefing yourself and the race that you have had. And Brian Long is literally closing. He's got the bit between his teeth. Is he going to be able to go on the outside of the horseshoe? He's not. He settles back in behind. What about between their Christian Sears trying to run after Gabriel Hope at the moment, and Chris Cabu is right behind him as well. So nice little tidy battles. Anthony Wilburn's a little bit off the pace, but he's got pace for days. He's just got to settle down now, and he's just got to use his little bit of a brain, settle in, let the car calm down, let him calm down, and then basically he might be able to get somewhere on the racetrack, Alex. It's when he starts having a panic about it all, and he starts rushing, and then you start making mistakes because you've already gone and done a mistake. It then makes it worse, doesn't it? And I think for Anthony Wilburn, he's just got to settle now, because he's clearly got the pace and he can clearly keep up with the drivers. But I can tell you one thing, Brian Long is definitely keeping up here. You can see on his dashboard he's got the overtake button on, flying along at 174, 75 miles an hour, doing an absolute stellar job. Brian Long puts himself up into second before they've even got to the roller coaster. Jasper tries to come back at him, nothing doing there. Now, can they go on and work and get onto the back of Jeff Groff?
Proof's going to be in the pudding on that one, to be honest with you, James. But yeah, Brian Long doing exactly what Christian Jasper did to Anthony Wilborn on the opening lap, coming down the back stretch. So yeah, that's one of the other things as well. You've got to be selective with how you use the push to pass, as Anthony Zitch goes up the inside of Indica Scarlett, who is Indica's gone round, I believe, at turn 1. Yeah, she's backwards onto the grass. So Now, was there an assist?
Yes.
Oh, there was a clash of wheels, and up into the air goes Indica Scarlet after contact with Anthony Zich, and Indica is around and backwards. Yeah, well, Anthony caused it by having a moment himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you spotted that, because Anthony did cause himself a problem there beforehand. He got a little bit loose on the curb. He then come back out and unfortunately lifted Indica up into the air. So unfortunately for Indica Scarlet, she's now dropped down the field behind Anthony's itch. Behind Anthony Wilburn, who's closed his way back in. Brian Long hanging on. The question will be, for how long is he going to be able to hang on for? Is he long enough in front of Chris Asper going into the roller coaster? He is. They're going to go left, then they drop down the hill to the right, then they're going to go left again, keeping it tight, letting it open up just a little bit, let it back in onto the curb. Now look at going into the dip, and now this is it. The power's up. Brian Long, oh, they both got off the circuit there. A little bit of tunnel vision from both of them. Brian Long went off, and Chris Asper decided he was going to follow him. Have we lost Alex?
Sorry, my apologies there. I forgot to hit the spacebar again.
No worries.
But yeah, it was more the case that Brian was trying to carry that momentum through the corner, and I think just under-calculated how much braking force he'd need to get through that final corner at Hogped at turn 17A, and then Christian just went off in sympathy, so maybe they were both carrying up in too much speed. You've got to have that careful mix through that final right of both throttle and brakes. So when I spoke to a lot of the drivers post-race at Motegi last week, said, "You're looking forward to VIR?" They said, "Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a challenge." Now they're finding out how difficult that challenge is under a full 28 laps of racing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was always going to be hard with what you've got here. That's the thing with VIR, right? It's if it was easy, anybody would drive it. Now, as I said last week, I think it was, I don't even ever touch these cars, because God help me, I probably couldn't stop them, and I'd end up spinning more times than auditioning for a ballet. It would just be absolutely horrendous. So I think from my point of view, I envy anybody that can drive these cars, drive them efficiently and drive them fast, because you definitely need, as Alex would put it, some stones to be able to go and make these work. We're going through the horseshoe now on board Gabriel Hope as we're tracking down Chris Sears. Now this is the point of where we said earlier on, through NASCAR bend we go to left-hander, then we go once more straight, then we go a little bit of a left hook. Now this is it. Watch this. This is just insane. The amount of speed they rack up, straight lining everything. They're barely turning the steering wheel. We're topping 160 before we get to the bridge. 168, 170 up over the hill, through again, barely touching the steering wheel, straight lining as much as possible. 176, 177, 177 miles an hour through that section alone, Alex. And all I can sit here and say is, wow, that is just insane.
Yeah, well, that's nearly 300 kilometers an hour, folks, so which is about 186 mph. So Chris Sears deploying the push to pass as a defensive countermeasure in front of Gabriel Hopp, who we're on board with again in the Mild 7 Benetton tribute livery band here in the number 29. But yeah, again, it's just they've only got 200 seconds worth of deployment for this push to pass, and you've got to be very strategic with how you use that, and that's quite crucial. I mean, the back straightaway going into roller coaster from Oak Tree is probably the best place that you can deploy that, because you're not having to worry about, oh, I need to line it up on the curbing, I need to get through left hook, I need to get through snake, and then I just need to line it up and just point and smash the throttle and just go for it. But then as we get through the halfway point of this race, there is going to be some fatigue setting in, because yes, people might say this is a simulation, but they are having to deal with feedback, direct drive, and that is not easy when you have a circuit that has multiple undulation changes, multiple changes of direction, even though it might be slightly small in terms of going through from Snake all the way down to turn 10 at South Bend. But this is where you can really open up the taps on the Super Formula cars. I mean, Brian Long, who's still holding on to P3, but he is being closed in on by the pair of Christopher Sears and Gabriel Hopp. 175 miles an hour heading into roller coaster. These cars, and with the way that this circuit has such a dynamic set of factors to it, where you've got the undulation changes, you've got the straight line chicanes, you've got the top speed, then you've also got the braking zones that you can contend with. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if by lap 16, between lap 16 and 20, drivers will be thinking, this is a bit more difficult than it was in free practice, because you're in an actual race right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I did actually find out the other day after a debate, shouldn't have been a surprise really, regarding iRacing on game or sim, and they actually ended up labeling it as a simulated racing game, because there was so many for games, so many against game. In the end, they just put them together. Simulated racing game. That's what they called it. There, Tyler Morales. I did see that DM. Thank you very much for that. I just shot that video of the IndyCars there. Gabriel Hope is now in a prime position. And Chris Sears was in a prime position. And I say was because he was in a prime position. Coming out through the oak tree now. Looks like Tom LZ has gone off. Chris Gibu has gone off as well. Not going to make it through. Straight lining. You can see the different lines in. Straighter line from the likes of Christian Sears, Christian Jasper. Bit of a wider line going into that corner, Alex, from Brian Long, but Brian seems to capitalise on the second stage of the corner and start opening up, ready to get down and start finish straight, and he's already 7/10 up the road, and that just seems to extend from the lines that he takes setting himself up at a roller coaster. 14, 15, 16 through the hog pen, because he takes a wider line in, which then allows him to get the exit speed out, where obviously Chris Sears is a little bit tighter. He slows him up. He's got to make sure he can get it stopped. And, you know, I just think sometimes lines are completely underestimated in the racing circuit, because you find what works and how much speed you can carry.
I completely agree with what you just said there. And plus also, you've got to be confident with the car that's working to how style it's confident. There's so many tests in this fourth season here at SR4S, and you see the race of acceleration. They are not hanging about. Gabriel Hopp is now within 0.5 of a second as they're going through in towards the roller coaster section. So Gabriel Hopp might have an opportunity next time around, coming out of Hog Bend and then starting to tee things up from Horseshoe at turn 1 into NASCAR Bend at 3, and then the left hook, or going right again through Snake. It's a case of just how you micromanage everything, especially with the push to pass. You've only got a limited deployment available of 200 seconds, and some drivers are at just over 170. Some might be using it to catch up with other people, but also you don't want to deploy it whilst you're accelerating out of a corner. You've got to wait for that car to be pointing in the right direction, and then you mash the throttle, and as long as it's not in wet weather conditions.
No, and I did see that earlier on with the iFormula F3 League. There was a few people, as soon as it started raining, and it all got a little bit slippery, should we say. But let's just say the winner of that race finished the race on dries while everybody else was on wets. Partly because we were in Japan, Alex, and as you full well and I full well know, it's kind of raining one side, dry the other, and the guy in the dry was still managing to get through the wet part of the circuit, so he did an absolutely incredible job, took the race on the wets there. Christian Sears is losing time to Brian Long. Now we'll see if we can just see Brian Long's entry into the next corner. I know we're a little bit farther, but look at the wider line compared to the tighter line. Chris straightens it up, Brian doesn't, but then as he goes through this section, Brian just pulls away. He's gone again, back out to 1.3 seconds, onto the straightaway, absolutely flying. And I'm sure with Brian, it stems from his ability to control that car through that roller coaster section. Take that little bit of a wider line, gives him more control. He's clearly more happier doing that, and it's because he's pulling away every single lap.
Yeah, it really seems to have found his feet in this car on this third round. But of course, VIR has always been a challenge. The layout is unique, and obviously uses the local topography of the different peaks and troughs on the circuit to really give some character, but also that challenge for the drivers to really bring the Super scruff of the neck, so to speak, and just see how hard you can push it. And coming on to what you said about DRS, I'm more a fan of push to pass, because it's that the engine that's through a generator unit that's going to give you that additional burst of power when you need it. DRS, yeah, it was all right. First came out. Now I'm just like, cars look slippery enough as it is. Why do we need an active, driver-controlled active rear wing flap open and give you an extra 8 to 12 kilometers an hour of top speed? But then look at the counter to that. Hang on a second. What if this happens? What if that happens? Just don't know. It's the same with these Super Formula cars. They are a unique animal.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. They are completely unique in what anybody else has probably driven. Anthony Wilburn is closing up 5.25 seconds. Chris Cabreu has unfortunately had a little bit of a problem. It looks like it's already going slow. I'm going to try and find the start. I've got a funny feeling this may have something to do with it here. So he starts it off there, goes off, comes back on. Then he goes back off again, going through the roller coaster and the right-hander. And then, just for good measure, I think he goes and does it one more time, spins it round. Oh, there's a wall there, or barrier. And that is where it all ended up there as well. Bit of information on Tom. This is Tom's first league race today. So Tom is still learning the ropes. Tom LZ down there currently in 12th place, has unfortunately ended up off the side of the circuit as I was about to pick him up for his first league race. But he looks like just too many beans there, so you want to back off on the pedals just a little bit on that one. Brian Long again, Sears closing in, but again Brian seems such faster through the sections where he needs to be faster, Alex, and make sure he can open up that gap, and he's doing that from 14 all the way to 17.
Yeah, and also you have to look at Gabriel Hopp now coming into play with regards to this battle for the final position in the top three. It's 1.3 seconds. Gabriel Hopp has just gone over 0.3 quicker than Christopher Sears, and that gap is, coming down slowly but surely. And then it is just a case of not if, but when does Gabriel Hopp pull the trigger and get past Christopher Sears? Sears, as we're on board the SR4S number 12 of Brian Long. Just look at how aggressive at certain points he's using a variety of full curbs, then white lines, then no curbs at all. Just really must have been putting in the wheel time in to get himself ready for this week in the championship. So, and he's not that far behind Christian Jasper. I mean, the gap's only like 1.7 seconds, and there is Christian in the front of shot. They're going down the back straightaway now into 14 A and B, going into roller coaster. But there was a deployment from Brian of his push to pass. Now you're going to see them go into roller coaster section. So it's left, up, down, right, left, down, left again. This particular part of the circuit kind of reminds me of the Craner Curves and Hollywood at Donington Park.
Yeah. You can always look at a circuit and think, I can see where they get that from. And Magny-Cours a circuit which takes corners off different racetracks. Cota's a circuit that takes corners out of different racetracks as well. So, you know, it's not the first time that other race circuits have probably magpied other circuits corners and thought, oh, that would work, let's have that one. So these guys running around this circuit here, you can look at it and think, oh, that could be this and that could be that, and at the end of the day it makes up this great course that we've got today, this very fast snake section. Jasper now is being pulled in by Long here, and it looks like, to be fair, Alex, he's pulling out a good 2 temps over him in that last little sector, and I think for him, well, you can see he got 3 temps out of him through sector 3. He got another 3 in sector 2 and another 3. He is pulling out bunches out of him at the moment, and there you go. As you can see him go by us. And Crispy and Jasper's trying to come back on the inside. Is he going to be able to get it? Drop down the roller coaster. I think he's going to slot in. Nope, he's still looking for that inside line again. Not going to get it on the entry here. Brian Long managing to hold on. And there is Crispy and Jasper right behind us. So, yeah, epic set of corners there from Brian Long. And he just really shows that you can make the most of that situation. And he has done that by moving himself up into second.
Yeah, and now the top, the remainder of the top 5, which is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, are not that far apart. We're probably talking, what, 1.5 seconds, if that. So we're past the halfway point, so we're on that 15 out of 28 here at VIR. So Brian Long, I think he might have been putting in quite a few practice sessions and getting the laps in to really sort of get himself set and ready for this 3rd round of the season. But he is starting to pull a little bit of an advantage over Christian Jasper to the best part of nearly half a second. Jasper's now got Sears right on his wheel tracks. Gabriel hops in the pound seats and is just waiting to see if something kicks off in front. Brian does not need to go that wide through into turn number 12 at Oak Tree, but he's still holding on, and he's actually pulling away ever so slightly. The gap between him and Christian is now 6.5 tenths of a second, as opposed to, what, 4 tenths of a second? Probably about half a lap or 3/4 of a lap ago. So, yeah, chapeau to, I doff my cap to Brian Long at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where he's managing to find the pace through that last section, because that is what is got him to where he is, and he's so quick. Anthony Zitch down here is chasing Indica Scarlet, as these guys are battling it out as well. They're on their run through the Oak Tree. This could be a move for Zitch if he just gets close enough. Can he at the moment? Nothing's running on his dash, so no push to pass kicking in. We're in top gear. We're going to be absolutely going for it through this first section. Is he going to tighten it up? Is he going to take it a little bit wider? He takes it wider. Late apex on the right. Drops it down now. Through the left-hander they go. And then down the hill again. Big twitch from Indica right in front of us. Through the left, down into the dip. Through the right. And we're off once more. And it's literally a few seconds and you're whizzing through 14 to 17 and you're doing it at an absolute rate of knots here, Alex. These cars are, well, I think the kind of word is just insane.
Crazy is another one I could add to that list as well, apart from just insane. But the only time the drivers really have an opportunity to breathe is between Oak Tree and then heading into the roller coaster section. But if you've got someone on your 6 and they are closing and they've got the slipstream, they're using their push to pass, you're trying to be a little bit more conservative on the usage of said push to pass. That's why we've seen Brian Long get past Christian Jasper multiple times this evening in this race. So you can never really count anybody out at any stage of the race itself. Christian Jasper, new fastest lap, still is about 8 tenths of a second behind Brian Long. Christopher Sears is now nearly 9.5 tenths of a second behind the 444 in 3rd place. Gabriel Hopp in the 5th spot at the moment is losing a bit of time to Sears to the tune of, at its highest so far, about 8 to 8.2 tenths of a second. But this is a nice little battle between what we now have on our screens, Christopher Sears versus Gabriel Hopp. Oh dear, now they're going to be going through South Bend at turn number 10, and Hop is now swarming all over the back rear wing of Christopher Sears as he's going to fling it round the outside at Oak Tree of all places.
Oh, he got it
Complete
done.
commitment there, Gabriel Hop, but I think maybe Christopher Sears might have just let him through there a little bit because he wasn't sort of like over-aggressive in trying to defend it.
Yeah. But I can tell you one thing, I wouldn't want to be trying to defend it if somebody's brave enough to go and send it on my outside, Alex. I'm not going to be rude, regardless of where I am on a racetrack. You know, let's put it this way, he's got a choice, and he defends, and it all goes wrong on lap 18, or let him go through and think, I can still get you back. I've still got plenty of track time. Let's live to fight another day. And I think that is probably one of the biggest things in racing and sim racing that people can really do with learning. Live to fight another day. And Indica Scarlet is alongside Anthony Zitch. Zitch just goes through again. She lives to fight another day. No mass defending, just trying to keep the car on the racetrack, get them points on the board, which at this early stage of the season, Alex, is probably vitally important, especially when it comes down to the nitty-gritty a bit later.
Yeah, completely. And consistency is what wins people championships. I mean, Jeff Groff didn't finish the race last time at Motegi. Anthony Zitch has just put in the fastest lap of the race overall by anybody so far. But you know, Jeff Groff, it was a difficult race last time. In contact with his teammate Christian Jasper last time out, but with no Carson Keane here, well, Jeff Groff could say, okay, Jeff isn't here. Now I've got an opportunity. Let's see how far I can push this. He is pushing quite a bit at the moment because the gap over Brian Long at just a few seconds ago was hitting normal. You know, so like it's getting closer and closer to about 10 seconds. So Brian Long doing a good job. Christian Jasper still trying to close that gap. Gabriel Hop and Christopher Sears. That is the closest battle out on track, along with this from Zitch and Scarlett. Yeah, Jeff Groff is just wanting to make amends for what happened last time with the contact and just go, you know what? Carson's not here. I want to take a race win. That will put him 31 points and help him no end with regards to the championship so far.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw Zitch go off the circuit there, right in front of us. And I'm wondering if it just caught the edge of the curb on the entry. He did. And that unfortunately pushed him off, just pulled him almost off the side of the circuit. Gabriel Hop is here, I believe behind us is Chris Sears. It is. Hop has, well, he got ahead here, didn't he? Oh, Chris. Ah. One mistake. One thing. And actually, I wanted to refer back really quickly to what you mentioned about consistency. We had a driver earlier on who won a championship out of 8 races. How many do you think he won?
Probably 1 or if not 0.
0. He won none. He got 5 podiums out of the 8 in the end, and he literally only he won none of the races, none of his class, and literally went and took the championship, and he did it by 1 point. Took the championship by 1 point. It was absolutely epic racing, but it just goes to show you don't have to win every single race by being ridiculously stupid on certain decisions. You can just win a race by being consistent, win a championship by being consistent, finishing your races every single time, getting points on the board, not putting that car in difficult positions where you could end up taking yourself out. And that, I can safely sit here and say, would probably be one of the top 5 things that you need to learn to make sim racing successful, or real life racing, depending whichever one you want to go into.
Yeah. You know, that story that you just told, it's very much like Alain Prost, and nicknamed the Professor, because he was always looking at the bigger picture. Like, well, I don't get the win, that's fine. However, if I'm third, I still have a 3-point lead in the championship standings. So, yeah, you can go all out and have the the internal cojones to try and make stick when you need to. But then, is that risk versus worth it? Especially when you take drop scores into consideration. Then also, so many other things that you've got to consider with that. And but this battle with Zich and Scarlett, now, was that a slowdown for Indica? I don't think it was, but Zich got the run, and this is coming down the back stretch. It's very much like Senna and Mansell, McLaren versus Williams all over again in the early 90s. Anthony Walbon has entered in the pit lane. Indica Scarlett is still going to keep it to the inside now of this part of the roller coaster, and gets back through on Anthony Zich, but will Zich respond? Because they're going to go down and towards Hogpen now and then come out of turn number 17A. No, Indica Scarlett still holds on in the battle for 8th position, and Travis Quiston is not too far behind, but Zich goes towards the outside here at T1. Scarlett back up the inside, retakes the position. So a nice little exchange here, James. Really, really good to see that.
Nice, yeah, and it's fair and consistent. Unfortunately, we lost Tom again into the road. Well, he's already out of line, and I can tell you where that started and when it started, and it was literally at the moment his back end bounced the curb there for Tom. Unfortunately, he went and bounced the curb, and then it all went a little bit wrong. So, unfortunately for him, having a bit of a rough time, but it's all a learning experience, isn't it, for this young man? And I think it's something that he can get used to. He goes over the curb just about now. He bounces the wheel. You can see it's not settled, and unfortunately, he's got no hope of stopping that car. So, I think when you're learning like certain people are, you've got to keep your open mind up. You've got to make sure that you can learn one thing from a race every single week, and then by the end of the season, you would be moving yourself up, should we say, up in a progressive form, rather than being stuck in the same place that people see you at. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing. Learn something new, regardless if it's just in sim racing, in life, because it's going to go again. Are we going to get this again? Too wide going down into turn 1. Indica's on the inside. Anthony's on the outside. Still can't get it through. Indica just looks like she's planting the car where she needs to, Alex, and doing a great job with it.
Yeah, 100%. It's just about keeping your racing line, because she knows that this is a battle for position, and she has the right of way if Anthony Zich wants to make them. Fair and controlled. Don't until seconds. Times when you're teeing up a move to change positions, not just in one, not just to have. You'll probably think 2, maybe in front, so you can get that job. Zich is now pushing on and off, so Zich is deploying the push to pass, and the number 15 T9 BM car. Good to have a chat with him last weekend's venture. Team Resort Motegi. Yeah, not that long to go left. These laps have actually been flying by pretty quickly here, James. We're on lap 23, 28, so 6 to go, including this one, until we hit the checkered.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying by. Believe it or not, it's only a 1 minute 27 lap time, and it's just been incredibly quick. Jasper's still sitting in that third place, deploying. You can see it in the background, flashing his absolute head off here. Brian Long, I'm a little bit worried by the fact that your light is not even static. So I'm wondering if you're completely out at this point, and you're going to be surviving on your laurels for the next 4 laps here, of what they will say, as it's been called previously, on a wing and a prayer. So let's see how Brian Long gets on as he comes down into turn 1, and still makes it through. No real dramas from that. Crispy and Jasper, you can see just coming out. Brian opened it back up again to 1.2 seconds. As a part of this circuit Brian loves, and he's nailing it every single time.
Yeah, that he is, and it's just quite nice to see that kind of consistency all the way through the race, and this will be his best finish so far this season. You know, Teggy, he was 4. Canada is also 4. So, yeah, this would be a nice way to get through the first 3 races to finally have a podium on your tally. Okay, yes, it's not in second place, and that's still very, very admirable from Brian Long. Talked about this multiple times that Brian is one of the involved with SR4S directly. His practice sessions, his organised everything, including the fact that you can hear from us in terms of commentary. So these wonderful super formula. As those laps are fast counting down here, James. Jeff Groff is effectively de facto Carson Keane right about now.
Yeah, he is. He's absolutely flying away. 8.6 seconds. Oh, Indica. Here he comes. Travis McQuiston. No, Indica made a little bit of a mistake, started applying the pedal just a little bit too soon, and that car was definitely on a nope, you are not doing that to me. Again, straight up behind now, they're dropping down the hill to the left-hander here. Through again, go left, down through right, through the hog pen, off we go once more, and Indica has got some pace and got some grip through that bit as he did Doe and bolt off away from young Travis here. So Travis is going to try again, close the gap in at another part of the circuit. Oh, Brian Long. Oh, no. Just as we were talking about consistency, Alex.
Fate of circumstance hits again.
Yes, on the curb, but unfortunately for Brian Long, around he goes. A good day, kind of, gone poof in one corner.
He's still in the top 5 at the moment, but yeah, to have that drama in this latter stage race itself, that's a little bit of heartbreak for Brian, but again, another driver that's been consistent, as I said. 4th place finishes in Montreal and Motegi, and now here at VIR, that's going to be 3 top 5 finishes in a row for him, and yeah, he'll be about that. It's it's a shame, but look at that and go, that was an honest mistake. You know what? Let's just gather ourselves up, ready for sparring, because that's going to be another stern test next week.
Yeah, it definitely is. Different prospect, a different circuit again. Yeah, that's one of the great things about the calendar. Just everything is different. There is no real same old courses or tracks that these guys are going to be fighting out on. Chris Sears almost closed up to the back of Gabriel Hope, not getting done this time. Travis McQuiston again behind Indica Scarlet. Again, can he make it through? He's just got to kind of sit there in that lovely yellow livery, kind of Jordan-esque, the way it's laid out. He's just not going to make it through here. Surely you're not going to try it. Don't do it. Settle down. You got a long straightaway coming up. You got plenty of time there, dear Travis. He goes around the right-hander through the oak tree, which is no longer there due to a massive lightning strike. Made it damaged, health and safety, took it out, and that was it. Job done for the tree. And then iRacing Julie followed and removed the oak tree as well. Anthony Wilburn with Josh Benjamin behind him as they're going over now for lap 27. And our leader, Jeff Groff, is on his way through the oak tree, soon to start the final lap here, Alex. And as you say, these times are flying by.
Yeah, and you really haven't spoken that much about Jeff Groffel race long. Very much in the same vein as Keane first 2 weeks of the season. But Joshua Benjamin Looks like very much the Tom's Super Formula livery. Kaz Nakajima and Andre Lotterer used to run in Super Formula years back whilst they were dovetailing their respective World Endurance Championship driver programs. So, yeah, great to see some nice colour. Of course, this one is one I do like, but it's the white flag lap as Jeff Groff from Destino Motorsports is looking very, very mighty indeed. But Christopher Sears looking to close in on Gabriel Hopp. They've got 5.6 kilometres to battle out for the final step on the virtual rostrum for P3. Sears goes over a tenth and a half quicker. Now Gabriel Hopp realises he's not out of the woods yet, even though we are on the white flag lap.
Final lap of the race. In they come now. Travis McQuiston removing himself from the equation, which is great to see through the right hand or 5A. Through that snake, they're going to go for the final time here this evening. As they come through, topping north, as we said, of about 175 here. And they're doing an absolute stellar job. Round the left-hander, coming into the oak tree now. Final run, really, of what Chris Sears is going to do. Is he going to be able to get it? He got the carryover. Oh, he carried quite a lot of speed through. And now all of a sudden he's just kind of lost it here. But Jeff Groff is coming around the last couple of corners. Is Chris Sears going to make it? We will pick up Jeff as he's going to come over the line very, very shortly. Chris Sears is not. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is your winner. And it is Mr. Jeff Groff from Destino Motorsports. Absolutely stellar job. Comes over the line, claims that first place. Race done. Crispin Jasper, his teammate, comes over in second. Fortunate second, mind you, because Brian Long was incredibly quick in a race down to the line. Gabriel Hopp is just going to take that. And Brian Long, after one mistake, comes over the line in fifth. He must be absolutely gutted. And then Benjamin and Anthony Wilburn. Wilburn comes over the line in sixth with Josh Benjamin in seventh. Brian Long, got to be up just a smidgen upset, isn't he?
He will be moved. He will 100% be moved after that mistake. And to do it with 3 to 4 laps to go, the only person that you've got to blame is yourself, and you've got to get yourself up about it. Like, I could have done it differently. But, you know, you're concentrating on so many different things. Fuel level, how well have your tyres worn in the race? Is there anything that's starting to develop as a problem? Do I need technical help? But yeah, Jeff Groff becomes the new race winner this season in Season 4. Carson Keane, not here tonight, having taken the 2 victory to the season here, James.
Yeah, Jeff Groff is your winner by 11.1 seconds. Crispin Jasper in second. Gabriel Hope in third. Christopher Sears in fourth. Brian Long fifth. Anthony Wilburn battles his way back to sixth. Josh Benjamin in seventh. Indica Scala in eighth place with Travis McQuiston in ninth. And then you got Anthony Zitch, Don Runkle Jr., Chris Gibew and Tom, who finished 3 laps down, but a great experience for that young man there as well. Very great racing here. Absolutely flew by in the end. It was like here 1 minute, gone the next, and these guys have done an incredible job. So absolutely amazing. We'll give them a minute or so, see if anybody wants to pop in and have a chat with us, and then if not, we will wrap this one up. But Alex, your opinion on the race this evening?
Some really battling, some great side-by-side action going into the roller coaster, like say between Brian and Jasper as some of the standouts. I mean, Anthony will start threading the eye of the between Jasper and Groff, and then 1 lap later ends up over-rotating. Indica Scarlet and Alex Zitch come together through no fault of Indica's, because Zitch had just lost the back end going through turn 1. Or Indica was up in the air backwards. Yeah, I think now that we've got this winner, Groff, it makes things a little bit exciting, because, folks, 7 days' time, Sim Racing for Simpletons will to another venue, heading to the Hungara Ring. It's behind the Ernie Eccleston back in the day, trying to go for Grand Prix in Russia. It ended up great circuit just outside of the Hungarian capital, but there is your winner of round 3, Sim Racing for Simpletons Season 4 Super Formula season, Jeff Groff from Destino Motorsports, and it's a Destino 1-2.
Yeah, there's Jeff. Welcome in, buddy. Congratulations on your victory. What you got away at the start, mate? You look quite comfortable out there.
Thanks. Yeah, I've had a rough few, so I'm just glad that I was able to pull it through. I had very limited practices, but I wanted to have some vote of confidence. So it's a nice finish.
Yeah, it was an absolutely stellar job from you. Destino 1 and 2 as well. I've got to be happy for the team, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean we're not really racing as teammates specifically in this league, but we race each other hard. We race each other fair. At least we tried to. Last week was a little bit of an anomaly with some net code, but
it was. But look, hey, you moved on, you took the victory, and an absolutely stellar job for you as well. Going forward, Jeff, realistically, tell us honestly, where do you see yourselves in this championship? Where do you see you as an individual racing?
I feel like I can compete. I mean, some of the quicker guys, Carson and Aaron, weren't here today, but I feel like I've got some decent speed if I get enough practice in during the week. But yeah, it just kind of all depends on the track. I mean, certain tracks I'm just not great at. So I'd have to have a little bit of extra practice. But if I'm practicing enough, I should be able to at least get close. So I'm hoping for top 3. That's kind of my goal.
Awesome stuff. Well, buddy, thanks so much for jumping in and having a chat with us. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, sure. Destino Motorsports for taking me on. Appreciate those the people over there. My wife and kids, Kaylee, Nathan, Dylan, and Olivia. And you guys for putting on a great broadcast, and SR4S for a great league. It's been fun.
Awesome stuff. Well, Jeff, thanks so much, and we'll see you next week and see how you get on.
All right, thank you.
Take care. Right, next up on the list, we're going to go from top to bottom, so we will bring Crispy and Jasper into the interview room. Christian, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm sweating.
Mate, you had a tough one out there. You had a tough one.
Yeah, a little bit. I was actually just talking with Anthony. That turn 1 was crazy. That whole race was crazy, honestly.
Yeah, it was. Mate,
that was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, it was. And let's put it in realistic layman's terms. Do you feel you're lucked into that second place?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't have more damage in turn 1, but it was netcode, so it giveth and taketh away. So I did the best I could. I was hoping I could fight Brian because I feel like I could have at least brought it back to him. But towards the end, it was like driving on ice. I don't think that wheel was pointing exactly where I was turning at any point. After a while, that back end wanted to come around and it wanted to do it quick. So it was tough. It was tough, especially later on.
Yeah, but it was, and it looked like a lot of fun, though, mind you. I won't mind. I'm not going to say I'm going to give these a go, to be honest, Christian, because I'll probably just wreck the car before we even got anywhere. Going into the Hungaroring next week, what do we think is going to happen there?
I don't know. I really don't. I've last time I was supposed to have a race in these ended up flying through the air. Someone spun in front of me, so I think it'll be a little bit better this time around. This is a good group of guys to race with. It's tight, but they know how to. I feel like everyone knows how to respect each other on track. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be very different from here, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a lot more technical, but it's still got a lot of those fast sweepers that aren't that dissimilar to VIR. So it'll definitely be an adjustment, but I still think it'll have a lot of action.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. Christian, thanks so much for joining us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. As always, thank y'all for putting on a great broadcast. I can't wait to watch this one back. Thank you for Brian for running this league. It's a hell of a lot of fun racing him, and it's a lot of fun just racing this in general. Thank you to Destino and Go Squadra, and thank you to Infamous and Sunset Arctic.
Awesome stuff. Well, Christian, thanks so much for joining me there, buddy. Look forward to seeing how you get on at the Hungaro ring.
Absolutely. Cheers. Thanks, y'all.
And next up is the third place man, Gabriel has joined us in the booth. Gabriel, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine.
Good race?
I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't speak English very well, so I'm sorry if you guys cannot.
Alex,
well, but yeah.
hold on a minute. Let me check. So, Alex, do you speak Portuguese?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think I can handle it.
yeah, we'll have to try it in English, Gabriel. I'm sorry. How was it out there, buddy? Was it tough?
I'm shaking. I'm shaking so hard right now, and the last 10 laps, I think I was doing so many errors because when Brian spun out, I got the P3 warning. I don't know. I got so anxious.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And a nice little run down to the line with Chris finishing over the line 0.04 apart from each other there with you and Chris. Did you think you managed to hold on to the podium?
Yeah, I don't know. He got a little slowed down because he touched the grass in the end, so maybe he could pass me. But yeah,
Well, great job. It's fun racing, so well done for you. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I want to thank my parents are watching, so yeah.
Oh,
Shout
hi.
out for them. I think they understand. They like Formula One, so I think they know how it goes.
Oh, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Well, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Hop. Hope you're well. Nice to see your son's on TV. Doing an amazing job. Gabriel, thank you so much there, buddy, and we look forward to seeing how you get on next week.
Thank you very much.
Take care, mate.
Thanks.
Right, next up is Mr. Anthony Wilburn, who's going to come in and join us. Anthony, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Would you say silly mistake at the beginning made your race somewhat more difficult?
Yeah. It to be frank, I was surprised that last lap put me 3, and then I was just talking Christian about it right now. I was surprised that there was a gap there right at the very beginning between Jeff, and he was obviously kind enough to give me space there, but to get into P on lap 1, I wasn't expecting that. And then I think it was probably lap 2. I got to work on cold tires, and taking that corner on the inside, I couldn't see my braking point because he was on my left. So it was dangerous, and frankly I got lucky that I didn't take him out. So I'm thankful for that. But it did make the race pretty.
Yeah, it definitely did. Leave us in YouTube chat as always. And Andy, you did so well. So well done there as well. So once we get the first couple of laps out the way, we will see Anthony Wilburn battling it out at the top? Do we think like top 5?
Honestly, yeah, I think that's what I am happy about for this weekend. This is, everybody's talking about how dangerous of a track this is, and it is.
I agree.
But right, there's a lot of you can make one little mistake and it's similar to a street track, but I think I had pretty good pace all around, and then I got another drive-through. That's something that we'll probably have to talk about. I know we're still working with 9x, and me and Christian got 4x for turn 1, lap 1, which is a netcode thing. So I had to do a drive-through, lost that, but then was able to get the place back by the end. But pace-wise, I was actually pretty happy. I felt pretty confident. There's just that oak tree can make or break 5, 10 on that
Mm-hmm.
turn when you're doing it quickly. But if you're trying to play it safe, lose a half a second each that turn. So, but yeah, no. I think top 5 in future races. If I can chill out a little bit, get into race pace, that's
Oh, awesome stuff. I look forward to seeing that one there, buddy. Moving on to quickly in regards to next week, Hungaroring.
the Hungaroring. That's going to be interesting. It's obviously it's a lot more traditional, a lot more passing opportunity, but I also think people here are going to be really fast. Like some of the guys at the top have probably raced this track a lot,
Mm-hmm.
this car, in every single rotation. So it's going to be rough for that. I think anybody racing this league right now has probably got parity with that track.
Yeah. I think
it's a fast one.
Yeah, I think you might be right there, bud. So let's get out and get some practice in, especially over them cold tyres. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go, buddy?
Sure, we're going to shout out Barf. We're going to shout out Dan, Chris, Mary, Ness, Jack, if they're all watching. Some may not, but get them all. Thank you for supporting both me and obviously race.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, Anthony, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you, and we look forward to seeing how you get on next week.
All right, I look forward to it. Thanks.
Take care. Well, guys, that's going to bring this wonderful evening of racing to an end. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined me and Alex up here in the booth. It's been a very interesting evening of racing and one I look forward to seeing at the Hungaroring. But stay tuned for everything that's coming up on JPB this week, and there is quite a lot of it. So keep your eyes peeled for when we go live. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells as always, and give the video a big old thumbs up for us. As we've got Clio's going off Monday evening. We got F1 on Tuesday with UK Sim Racers MX-5s, and we've got NASCAR, we've got GT4s, GT3s, Radicals. We've got it all next week, so stay tuned for that one. But I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Alex Goldschmidt, and from us up here in the JPB booth, take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.